That's a bad sign. Yes! Hey, you beautiful buccaneers, Falcore here. So, one thing that chimes loud within the community is the need for endgame content. And although that sentence always amuses me somewhat, as an open world sandbox isn't supposed to have an endgame, that's kind of point, you make your own endgame, I can still sort of understand the need to have something amazing to strive for. And let's face it, Athena's fortune certainly is not it. So in the Tales of the Sea of Thieves book, we learn that Flameheart Jr. got his hands on a suspected cursed chalice that was responsible for his skeletal curse. It was left there by the mysterious skeleton lord only known as the Captain. We know that this mysterious island that he found this chalice on was west of the Wilds, just on the outskirts of the Shroud. So the real question is this island within the game? Well, there's no actual island that comes close to the description of this island. The book tells of a vast rocky landscape with limited vegetation and a large winding catacomb of tunnels which Flameheart Jr. and his crew got lost in. But we also know that the Shroud ebbs and flows like the wind. The shores of Plenty, for example, were once engulfed in the Shroud before we all came here. So it's entirely possible that the island Jr. found is now out in the open. It's also very evident that over time the Sea of Thieves sea levels have risen, as ancient structures reside under the sea level now sunk to what is now the seabed. So maybe when Junior was sailing these seas, the landscape looked a lot different to how we see it today. Islands would have been a lot larger, and areas we can now sail unharmed would have been cut off by the Shroud. So with that said, this mysterious island could have been here all along, changed by the face of time until someone or something uncovered its location. Now, we all know that the Reaper's hideout was once just an unmarked island that was the quest hub for the very first Sea of Thieves update, the Hungering Deep. But since then, it has been given a huge update. A rock circle was first uncovered, followed by a scaffold, and then the emergence of the masked stranger, and then over time, the eventual rise of Reaper's hideout. But before all of this once unmarked island had a vast and winding underground tunnel system that held no real purpose. But since the Reapers made it their home, this tunnel system appears to have been purposely covered over. Could Reaper's hideout in fact be the mysterious island location of Flameheart Jr.? I'll leave that interpretation in the hands of the speculation gods. But one thing is for sure, the Servant of Flame, if not Flameheart Jr. himself, certainly has ties to his storyline and the knowledge of this mysterious chalice. The trapdoor in its center, which holds the skeletal symbol for the word chalice, and the various decor proves that the chalice is almost a religious symbol to them. When Reaper's hideout was added during the 2nd anniversary update, I always found it quite odd that much like the Hunter's Call, they were a voyageless faction. They are essentially the cash converters of Sea of Thieves. They will literally buy anything off you. But that often makes me wonder if this faction is intended for something else further down the line. It's no secret that the Servant of Flame is a skeleton. His level 75 figurehead proves this. And of course the lady who was responsible for building it, the Masked Stranger, aka Wanda, was also a skeleton. So the Reapers are essentially a skeletal faction. In terms of storyline, however, our scurvy pirates do not know this. We simply want gold and want to dress in pajamas. But people like you and me can figure this out simply by lining up the clues. Now, this trapdoor is obviously going to lead somewhere one day. When that day comes, I have no idea. But one thing is very obvious in terms of updates and the direction that the developers are going. They are listening to the community and updating the already existing factions with more dynamic quests. The Order of Souls with the Ghost Vessels, the Merchant Alliance with cargo runs, the Gold Hoarders with ancient vaults, and possibly more things in the future. So it appears they want to make things more dynamic for all of the factions at one point, possibly even Athena's Fortune, possibly even Hunter's Call, but more importantly, possibly Reaper's Hideout. Since the game's release, there has always only been one thing to strive for in adventure mode: the Pirate Legends Tavern. But now the game has progressed so much that simply having one legendary faction is no longer enough. What if the Reaper's Hideout will become the new endgame? To become Pirate Legend, you merely gain level 50 in 3 factions, and away you go. But maybe Reaper's Hideout will allow you to venture beyond the Pirate Lord's good books, and possibly enroll you further into their faction. It would make sense. As I said earlier, our pirates are completely unaware that we are joining a skeletal faction, hence the masks. We just think these Reaper guys are really awesome dudes who buy anything from us and get us rich. What if later on in development, our pirates discover the truth, and once gaining level 75 in a number of factions, we are escorted to this trapdoor and plummeted to below the island, where we discover the true intent of the Reapers, a new faction similar to that of the Legends Tavern, except a ceremony is required, the drinking from the fabled chalice, with legendary quests serving a new leader, Flameheart Jr. A lot of the community have been asking for a skeletal curse in the game, and what a way to do it. Reaper's Hideout, the Skeleton Lord faction. Or, it could just be like a daily bounty. Stand on the trapdoor, get 5 doubloons. Whoop, whoop!
Game feature of the year.
Stop with the daily bounties. Nobody likes them.